have the privilege of having here with me two of the remarkable actors starring in this series as well. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give a warm hand to Miss Georgia Hirst. And give another warm hand, please, to Mr. Jordan Patrick Smith. We have a few questions for you on behalf of the audience. I'm only the reading voice. So, first question for you, Georgia. Tonight is the premiere of the new season. What can we expect for Torvi, your character, and her storyline?
Well, this season is certainly an eventful one. I think since I've shacked up with Ubbe, another strong man, I think Torvi's kind of happy to surrender herself to Ubbe's journey, and she loves him and wants to have a family with him. So going on this journey that they do embark on is not exactly her desires, but it's Ubbe's, and she's kind of happy to do that. And also, you know, they may have some new life within their relationship, so you see a little bit of that. So there's a lot going on.
Jordan, your character Ubbe seems to be one of the most reasonable sons of Ragnar. What will happen to him this season? Will he join the fight or become a diplomat?
This season for Ubbe, he's going to stop being the son of Ragnar. He's decided he's got to do his own destiny. Since I got the land in England, I've kind of led Ragnar's dream and then the brother's dream. And this year he's going to find himself. And the fight scenario, no, I think he's almost done with the brothers. I mean, it's a lose-lose situation. If he fights with Björn, he loses his other two brothers, and if he fights with Ivar, which would never happen, but then he'd lose Björn and Kattegat. So it's a lose-lose situation he doesn't want anything to do with.
Okay, thank you. Can you be a fighter and a diplomat, do you think?
I'm sure there's a lot of people around the world that have tried it. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes fighting's necessary, especially in their world. They didn't sit down and talk as much as they probably should, neither do people these days. But yeah, I think of course you can, if you're smart about it.
Okay. Georgia, we witnessed a great development for your character, who has a really moving storyline in the show. Can you take us through your acting process throughout the show? How did you grow with Torvi?
When I started the show, actually, I was about 19. So Torvi was supposed to be a lot younger than I was. She was meant to be like 14, 15. And subsequently, as the show's gone on, she's a lot older than me, and I'm a lot younger. So we definitely did a lot of growing up together. I definitely injected some of my own personal experiences into the character. And, you know, I think the fact that she's so kind of human made her really easy to relate to. But yeah, we definitely grew up together. I mean, I've learnt a lot from her, and I can't really imagine anyone else playing that role now. Like, I feel like she's mine. So no one try it.
Okay. Jordan, it's a question somewhat related to the first one. Michael Hirst said in one of the interviews that Ubbe is most like Ragnar out of all of his sons. How is your character similar to the show's protagonist? Are there any differences? To what extent do you overlap him?
Geez, I've thought about this for like the last 8 years. I think being a son of a king and being the firstborn son of the queen and king, Ubbe's looked up to Ragnar his entire life. He's wanted to be him his whole life. So I really tried to emulate him as much as I could, because I think you'd want to be him so bad. And like just watching the show, I wanted to be him so bad. So then I think the son would kind of emulate that as well. But I think there's just so many traits to Ragnar that got split straight down the middle, and Ivar went one way and I went the other. So I just tried to really focus on his need for prosperity for his people and stuff like that. So yeah, I try to really focus on the good side of him and just go with that.
Okay, Georgia, to you again. Torvi and Lagertha have a very special relationship in the story, and the show was continually praised for showcasing strong female characters. Why do you think modern women relate so much to your characters?
I think this kind of relates to what I was just saying, which is that Torvi is, to me, one of the most kind of real human characters in the show, in that she has been through many ups and downs, many trials and tribulations. She's had a couple.
A lot of dudes.
Thank you. You were one of them, so you know. Yeah, she's been through sort of breakups. She's been dumped. She had a baby a little too young, probably. She's dated a not very nice guy. I mean, these are all extremely human experiences, and I think a lot of people can watch that and say, that's how I felt. So though it's set in a completely different time, I think a lot of her experiences are extremely relevant. And me and Catherine made a real point to emphasise our friendship, even in certain scenes where there were no lines or no dialogue between us. We would shoot a look to each other or smile or hug, and I think in a show with a lot of death, blood, guts, like destroying of lives, it's quite nice to just have a really strong female friendship in there that stays pretty prevalent throughout the whole show. So, yeah.
In season 5, we saw the crack and conflict between Ubbe and Ivor become even deeper. What is the future of the brothers in the final season?
Well, it's very hard to reason with a lunatic. Let's be honest, Ivor's an absolute lunatic. I don't think they can reconcile. I think the destinies couldn't go hand in hand with each other. When Ubbe lost his brothers, like, he was the big brother, that was his life goal, was to keep the family together and keep it going, and that's really been ripped apart, and since it's been ripped apart, it can't really get put back together, so he's got to kind of go and find his own thing and kind of avoid the brothers as much as he can, because it's going nowhere, and he needs to find his own thing that he can do.
Your character became quite the shield maiden. How much training did you have, and could you take Catherine Winnick in a fight, considering what we know about her?
No, I think I can safely say I would have no chance. It kind of differed depending on what the stunts were. So usually for like a battle, I would insist on at least a week of preparation, like a couple of hours a day. And certainly when I started, I was not very coordinated. So I kind of looked like a giraffe running around, like legs flailing, arms, not very good. I think that just took a lot of time and a lot of practice. Unfortunately for someone like Jordan, who's like naturally so capable, he'd just be like, oh, I don't know, I like just practice for like an hour.
I did not.
I'd be like, what is wrong with you? No. So he found it kind of easy. I did struggle a little bit, but you got to thank the cameraman for making you look badass and make it look like we totally know what we're doing.
You were very good towards the end, though.
Thank you. It also helps that there's usually an AD, assistant director, standing beside the camera, throwing mud in your face. Look out, mud's coming. I'd be like, oh, okay, there we go. So definitely that makes you feel like you're in the moment. You get into it, but I would say skills-wise, not the best.
Your character, Jordan, is modeled after a real historical figure. And the question is, how much did you study in him before joining the cast, and how did you prepare for this role?
Yeah, how did you prepare for this role, Jordan?
Well, I know what the correct answer is, and it's not the correct answer. Not much, to be honest. I had just started watching Vikings the day I got the audition. So I literally saw 2 episodes, and I was sitting with my brother-in-law. I was like, this show's killer. I was like, I've got audition for this on Wednesday. He's like, you couldn't be a Viking. Piss off. And I was like, well, look at me now. I did a bit of research, but I think the more research you do, you can get very sidetracked very quickly. And I always had this thing that if my character went to Devon, I knew I was going to die. So I never went to Devon, so that was always good. But I think it's good to do the research to a certain extent, as long as it doesn't take away from the story. Listen, the short answer is no, I didn't do the research. No, not really.
Thank you. Georgia, what was the most memorable moment in the series for you?
Most memorable? I suppose, well, on screen or off screen?
You can choose. You can take your pick.
I would say for me, certainly when all the brothers joined, it meant that I had like a younger cast. And it was nice to be able to have people my own age, because for so long I was like the baby on set. I was like, who wants to hang out? Everyone was like, no. So then when you guys came along, it was kind of nice to have you all on set. And it just made the days a lot funner. I mean, we did have a good time, didn't we?
We had a great time.
What do I sense sarcasm there?
No, that was legit. We had a great
okay,
time.
Good.
Great time.
Okay, Jordan, in its sixth season, the show celebrates an ever-rising popularity. Why do you think the Vikings capture the hearts of millions and millions of viewers around the world?
Because the show's freaking awesome.
Okay.
You see that trailer?
Could you elaborate a bit?
So good. I think there's heaps of reasons why this show works. I think TV is changing at the moment at a very fast rate. Vikings is pretty much like a 150-hour long movie. Like, it's just got everything for everybody. It's got family drama, it's got violence, it's got beautiful women, it's got beautiful men. Not me, but other people. It's got Alexander Ludwig shirtless. Like, yeah, I think the show's just got something for everybody. I think the people that worked on it too, it was like a big family when we were there. And everyone put so much hard work into it and so many hours of their time and gave up so much family time for it that I just think that comes onto the screen, just how hard everyone worked to make it good.
Okay, thank you. One last question for you, Georgia. The show is highly praised for its authenticity. Did you study up on Vikings before joining the cast? And now, after so many seasons, do you consider yourself a Viking expert?
Well, no, I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I think I learnt a lot on the show. I didn't know half of the things I know now about Viking culture all the way back then. And I still think we're learning so much now, even to this day. So, you know, it's ever-evolving knowledge. But did I research for the role? No. I'm never going to work again after this interview. Yeah, no, not really. But I know a lot now. I mean, enough, you know. Yeah.
And Jordan, online we can see some really exciting videos of your Viking training. Do you feel now you're a real Viking fighter?
No, like not at all.
You sure?
Yeah, 100%
Because
no.
the videos are quite
Don't test
suggestive.
that either. The answer is no. No, we spend so long with we've got an amazing stunt team on Vikings, so a lot of the fights, it's almost like a dance. You practice so much, you start slow and you get faster and faster and you spend so much time with your scene partner. That safety is kind of the number one thing. And then on the day, like Georgia was saying, with the blood and that, like it's just carnage. Like
it changes always last minute as well. You'll end up rehearsing something and then it's completely different on the day. Like the weather's not good.
I punched a girl in the face once that wasn't the highlight of my day. She was supposed to go left, I was going right. I went right, she went right, and bang, right between her eyes. So, yeah, you don't want to make that mistake twice.
No.
Is it true that Catherine Winnick does her own stunts?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's
all of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and now 3 questions for both of you. The first one would be, this season we have some Polish musicians joining the crew, and in past seasons the music from Vikings became a real hit, featuring the works of Einar Selvik and Vardruna. How important is music in this show, in your opinion?
I mean, music adds to the whole spectacle of it. It's so visually, it's so amazing to look at that I think if there was no music, it just wouldn't feel kind of, you know, right. But also, I was saying earlier that sometimes when the musicians come onto set with you, like I did quite a few scenes with Einar, and there's something about hearing that like guttural music. It makes me anyway so emotional. So I think it just adds to the scene, and without it, I mean, it would feel wrong, like something is missing.
Okay.
How do you feel?
What she said, that was perfect.
Anything to add? No?
No, I think she summed that up pretty well. Yeah, the music's amazing on the show, especially from even the opening.
Dramatic tension.
Yeah,
It's like essential, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, you play a married couple. Do you bicker on the set, or are you an old, good marriage couple?
We are like we've been married for 60 years.
I normally sort of tell Jordan he's not going to be warm enough, you know. He's like, yes, I am. And I'm like, no, you're not. So we kind of have a little bicker, usually in the morning. We'll have a quick bicker after breakfast. And then
Georgia likes to talk first up in the morning, and I wouldn't be too keen at talking at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I mean, come on. Be nice to me. But Jordan
We've
usually...
started already. This is exactly what it's
Jordan
like.
usually will bring his headphones and he'll be like, can you just hold that thought just for 1 second? He'd be like, okay, carry on. And I'd be like, yeah, so anyway. So I went to the bar and then... So you'll let me talk at you. but usually he's listening to music or whatever. Or sometimes he'll just be like, please stop, I can't, like, not today. I kind of gauge those situations when you're not.
You don't gauge it at all.
He's listening to the soundtrack and Vikings to get in the mood, probably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the final question. How do you feel about Vikings coming to an end? And how did the show influence your careers?
I think work-wise, the show definitely had to come to an end. Like, Michael's really fleshed it out so much, and especially where our characters go towards the last 10 episodes of the season, it really wraps things up. Like, everything gets wrapped up beautifully. But leaving it as a personal level, like leaving everyone behind, the brothers, like, we all lived together for like the first year. And it was just like losing part of your family. That casting crew is so close, working in the cold and that together. Yeah, it was really, really weird thing to lose. I felt like, yeah, like I was losing my family, and yeah, it was a weird experience.
I'm still here. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Yeah? No. Yeah, I certainly felt like I was kind of ready. I feel like I'd done Torvi as much as I possibly could. So though I miss her terribly, I think I'd done everything that I could have possibly done. Like, I'm not sure where else I could have taken her, really. So even though, like you said, it was mostly sad to say goodbye to everybody on the set, the crew and the cast, from a sort of actor's point of view, I think I was kind of satisfied with ending the journey there.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Georgia Hirst and Jordan Patrick Smith.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it.